Good morning, everyone. I think we are all on the same
Morning,
time
morning.
zone, so it will be a good morning to all of you. Um, yeah, and firstly, you'll have to please excuse my voice. It's not one of the best today. I'm a bit fluish, but I thought maybe let's continue. But in my welcome, I just decided to put on just one slide, particularly for those who may not have be aware of our role and how do we approach the Eureka network, which encompasses everything, including the clusters. That as South Africa, we have a very strong bilateral relation with most EU member states. And that was even pre 1994. But after that, we signed an agreement with the European Commission, which is one of the oldest and very vibrant agreements within the department. And as a department in South Africa, Department of Science and Innovation, we are the custodians of research, development, and innovation. Hence, now we are called Department of Science and Innovation and no more Science and Technology. So we do coordinate and nurture this relationship with the European Commission. And in 2019, we had a white paper on science, technology, and innovation, which was the second one. We had one before. So this is sort of the second one with more focus on innovation. And now you think of what the Eureka network and the clusters focus on, which is innovation. So we still remain very relevant, and it's one of the pillars that we use also to profile ourselves as South Africa towards the rest of the world in terms of our innovation as well as international collaboration. And this white paper has also a section that deals specifically with internalization as well as science diplomacy. So we're quite comfortable, excuse me, we're quite comfortable that as South Africa not being the consumers or recipients of international collaboration, but we also do set the agenda in terms of international collaboration. And also our government's objective to accelerate sustainable and inclusive economic growth. I mean, we all know the rest of the world, we've been affected severely by COVID. So we didn't escape that. But also during COVID, the way opportunities that we took as South Africa, that we had several projects that even from Eureka that were meant to see how we can make an impact into addressing the COVID situation. And I mean, out of some of the initiatives, the well-known one, the BioVac company, which is the DSI is also a stakeholder. So those are some of the initiatives that came out of COVID situation. So it's not all that bad, but I mean, some of you as we speak now are at home and doing this, and this just shows that COVID came and it's still with us, but there are still some of the things that we see differently due to the pandemic. Also that as a department, but also as South Africa, because we remain the nodal point of the country, that we we have what we call the National Development Plan, which is a plan that was commissioned, I think it was late, I think 2011 or so, with what was called the Planning Commission, which looked into eradicating poverty, dealing with inequality as well as unemployment. And what we put forth to most of the innovation initiatives that we have. Instead, the projects that we fund on the international space, they should also address some of those issues such as unemployment, because you get an opportunity for young graduates, for women, for young scientists to take part and work in those projects in fulfillment of their postgraduate degrees or any other technician or scientist. So that's basically what we do. And we believe that our membership in Eureka, our participation in the Eureka Clusters, which we today are going to speak about, is actually one of the profilings that we have made, and we've put specifically a budget from the department to support South African participation in call. But my colleague Karabo will speak mainly to that. So with all that, I just want to thank everyone who made time to participate in this. And I'm hoping that this will be a very fruitful engagement. I always say to South African applicants that if you apply for the first time and you get your proposal approved, that's a good thing. But if you apply for the first time and you don't get it, just come again. And there are testimonies who tried once, twice, and got it the third time. And all the best to all the presenters. And I hope that we will have a very robust hour of presentations and engagements. Ask questions, and if your questions is not answered today, definitely there should be an answer in the coming few days, because we want to make sure that we maximize the event to make sure that we attend to you. So this is a specifically created event for South African applicants. So this is your stage, this is your opportunity to make sure that you get a chance to understand about the sustainability call. And on that note, colleagues, I thank you so much, and everyone um, it's welcome to the event. Thank you. I'm not sure who's gonna kind of cement on the call, but from my side, thank you so much.
Thank you, Toto. Okay, so yes, Sinem, please, can you talk about the sustainability call?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Nicolo. Thank you, Toto, for the very good welcoming speech. Thank you very much. Dear participants, you are all welcome today for the Eureka Clusters Sustainability Call webinar. This is the national webinar for South Africa. It's really very excited today to be with you, of course. I am Sinem. I am the general manager of Eureka Cluster, which is the one of the Eureka Cluster working on energy domain. Today, I'll try to talk about the other clusters, of course. First, I would like to introduce the clusters under the umbrella of Eureka. There are 5 clusters, 5 specific teams and communities. The first one is ETA, which is working on software development innovation. The second one is Celtic, which is working on ICT domain and telecommunication technologies. The third one is Euroja, which is working on energy domain and low carbon technologies energy. The fourth one is Smart, which is working on advanced manufacturing. And the fifth one is XS, which is working on electronic components and systems. As you all see, there are different specific teams for all clusters, and the all clusters are working for R&D and I projects. Today we are willing to talk about sustainability, as all we know that sustainability is everywhere and it's time to invest in sustainability. One of the hot topic is not in Europe, all over the world, in sustainability. It is essential for all actors to become more sustainable while providing effective responses to the economic, technological, and social rising challenges. Therefore, all Eureka clusters and the public authorities decided to have a joint sustainability call to have the R&D projects on this topic. So what will we do? Before this, of course, I have to mention about the involved countries and supporting countries for this call. There are 16 countries supporting Eureka Cluster Sustainability Call, which are Austria, Belgium, Canada, Denmark, Finland, Hungary, Ireland, Luxembourg, Portugal, Singapore, South Africa, South Korea, Spain, Sweden, Turkey, and United Kingdom. Now, when we look to the countries, one of the biggest industry country, which is German, is not on the list. Germany is not supporting all the projects, but they might support one or two projects. That's why I try to underline this issue. You can discuss with the public authority if you will have a Germany project partner, of course, and you can check their feasibility and their availability for the call. When we look to the targeting sustainable industry projects, there are two special focus areas, which are green ICT and space, earth, ocean integrated systems for better observation and data exploitation. Green ICT, which enables industrial applications in a sustainable, less energy producing, but also ICT itself having a less carbon footprint, consuming less energy, less heat. Also projects that implemented sustainable solutions in sustainable manufacturing situations. The other one is space, earth, and ocean integrated systems. You can develop new solutions, of course, integrate the new technologies for satellites, ocean and earth observation systems, ground, ocean and underwater imaging and sensing. But I have to say that these are two special focus areas, but of course, not the only ones. You can see some technologies which can be considered for this call. For example, ICT architectures. For example, Industry 4.0 for food production. For example, power electronics and power management, or integrated sensor and secure communication systems. But I have to say that this list is not exclusive. Of course, you can put your technologies for sustainability for this call, which is very important. There are some potential technical fits or strategic application domains. You can all see and check the website for the details, for further details. I have to say again that the mentioned areas are only indicative and not exclusive. So you can put your technologies, integrate new technologies for your new ideas. I want to mention about the call time, about the sustainability call. We launched sustainability call on the 1st of February. Then we had a brokerage event on 23rd of March. The PO submission deadline will be 2nd May and the FPP deadline will be 30 September. So as I see on the call timeline, there are two process stages. Which one is the PO and the second one is FPP. After you submitting your POs, your proposals till 2nd of May, the experts and PAs will evaluate your proposals. On 24th of June, the accepted POs will be invited to FPPs. So your FPP submission deadline will be the end of September. After your submission will be ended, again the experts and public authorities will evaluate the projects. They will have some consensus meetings for the funding situation. Most probably mid-November, we will have the funding decisions. So we are willing to start these projects as of November. If you look to your benefits, if you participate this call, of course, you will be the front runner in your sustainability application area. You will have a financial support, which is very important. And you will have access for a large network organization. You will be a part of flexible program for the bottom-up calls, which we defined for cluster calls, and you will have a chance to get coaching and support from the experts of the clusters. For submitting your project proposal, there is a website which is defined for this call only, and my colleague Nicola Seudini will detailedly explain to you after my presentation. You will have the further details for the tool, but do not forget that it's essential for each partner to contact their supporting public authority to have their eligibility criteria and national submission timeline. Also, the public authorities will have their funding rates, funding rules of participation of a subject to national policy. So also you can have all this information from the website, but you can directly call your national contact points to have these informations. Your project proposals should primarily target taking sustainable industry technologies. For Eureka rules, for the international cooperation between at least 2 countries is mandatory, but we are advising and recommending you more will be very good for you. Yes, 2 countries are mandatory, but if one of them can be funded but the other not, then your project will be failed. If you will have 2 countries in your consortium, and if 2 of them can be funded, then your project will be running. So there will be no risk on your consortium side. This is why we are advising you 2 countries is mandatory, but more is advised. 1 industrial partner from each country has to be in the consortium. This is mandatory. Proposals can be cross-cluster, cross-domain, cross-community. What does it mean? I want to explain. In this call, as this call is a joint call, you can select 2 clusters. One of them is primary cluster, the second one is the secondary cluster. I can give you an example. For example, a company is working on energy domain, and they will have an idea on the energy domain, energy era. But in their project, they are developing an ICT platform, for example. Then you can select Eureka cluster as a primary cluster because you are working on energy era, but you can select ETA cluster as a secondary cluster because your project is including a software developing site. Hopefully it's clear. If not, please ask your questions after the presentation. It is recommended to have a consortium that covers all segments of the value chain relevant for the project scope. And then I want to tell and underline the successful project criteria. You have to define your problem very well. It has to be clearly defined, and of course you have to define your solution and your new technologies integrated in your project proposal. You have to define the state of the art, which is very important for the experts while they are evaluating your project. And of course, the value chain ecosystem is very important. So each partner has to explain their value in the project proposal. And of course, the commercial impact, economical impact, and social impact has to be designed in your project proposal. You have to meet the national criteria, which is very important for your funding situation. So you have to know your national funding criteria very well. You can connect your national contact point from your public authority site, so you can have this information. Otherwise, in our website, all the informations are written in the website. Country impact is another important topic for the demonstration, of course, because in the project there has to be an economic impact and social impact. So demonstration, the economic impact and other benefits for each country involved is very important. We are looking for mid-sized projects which are between 5 and 20 million euros with a typical project duration of 2 or 3 years. Of course, the project has to be close to the market, so it means that it has to be a fast commercialization. In your project proposal, you have to define your KPIs very well. The consortium should determine and describe its own sustainability scope in KPIs. And of course, these KPIs has to be smart, which means specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. The KPI should allow evaluation of the global and systemic environmental footprint reduction, and the clusters will review KPIs during the monitoring phase of the labeled project to assess project results. Therefore, for the two topics, it is very important. The first one, during the evaluation, the experts and public authorities has to view your KPIs related with the project. And after accepting and funding your projects, the monitoring phase of the labeled projects, the KPI has to be reviewed by the clusters. There is a tool which you can, a support tool, which you can submit your projects by this tool. My colleague Niccolò Svedini will explain detailedly this, so I do not want to mention about this. And as I mentioned you before, there was a brokerage event on 23rd of March, and now it's really very close to the deadline of the submission of your proposals. So hopefully you will have the right partners for your project ideas. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for your attention. And if you will have any questions, do not hesitate to contact us. I'm still here to answer your questions after the presentations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sinem. So yes, there is one question from the chat.
Yes, please.
They ask if one of the any cluster focus on transport sustainability.
Transport sustainability. Transport, but what is the topic of transport? What I mean is, if they will develop a platform, or if they are working on a software side or hardware side. This is very important. If on the transportation, the company is working on the software side, it will go to ETF. But if they are working on electronic components or hardware side, it will go to XS.
Yeah. And if it would go, for instance, in electric vehicles, it will be also Euroja.
Yes, thank you.
Our scope. So
you're right.
I mean, this call, the meaning of the call is to connect topics between clusters and have projects that are interconnected among these clusters. So every time you speak about smart transport or electric vehicles or sustainability in general, there is always one of the cluster for covering that part of the topics. So don't worry about that. Then I have a hand raised by Mr. Malesela.
Yes, please.
I don't know if he's still.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, I heard you touched briefly. You said you're looking for mid-range projects between 5 to 20 million. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, it is the budget for all consortium, not only one company. It is the total budget for the consortium.
Okay, and what is the maximum budget for one company?
There is not we couldn't say it's maximum, but if you look to the Eureka rules, one country has maximum have the total budget of 70%.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Let me say you have you are two countries, I'm sorry. One of them is coming from South Africa, the other one is coming from Turkey, for example. Your total budget maximum will be 70% of the total budget.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
And I will also add, I put a sentence in the chat that I took from the manual of the call. When you go in the website, there is a manual of the call with all the information. And you can see that it is written that the eligible cost is in the range of 20 million, as Sinem said. Though projects outside this range may also be submitted for evaluation. So if you have a 3 million project, you can still evaluate, since the manual express say that also outside this range, the project will be evaluated and taken into consideration. But the important part is not specifically around the budget, but more important about taking contact with your public authorities, in this case with Toto and South Africa, and clear with them which are the eligibility costs country by country, because this is the important part. Okay, so are there any other questions from our audience? No. Okay, then I will then start with my presentation. So consider that these two presentations, you will receive these two presentations, including also the registration of the records of this session after the closing of this webinar. Can you see my screen? Yeah, okay. So this is more than a presentation, it's a manual to understand how to use the tool for this call. Not just the brokerage tool, but all the tooling, included also the project idea tool and partner search and the submission, of course. So this is what I'm going to talk about this. Create an account, use the project idea tool, use the partner search tool, and use your account in the best way, including the settings of your profile. So about the creation of the account, I think all of you already did that, since for participating. Sorry, there is some noise, but okay. I was saying for the registration of this webinar, you already create an account. In case you didn't, you go in this link, you put name, middle name, last name. Then you will receive an email with the activation link. As soon as you activated your account, you can come back in the page, and here you can edit your profile, also your public profile, that is the part seen by the other people that create an account, and you can set your password. This is another link where you can, after the creation of the account, you can log in. Once you log in, this is what you will see, more or less. So I will start with the project idea tool. You can see that you can click up at the top menu or here down to see the ideas. Or you can also create your idea. You will see later how you can do that. Here you will see a list of ideas that has been created by other users. And here, very important, you will see a list of invitations and requests. Why this? Because when you create an idea and people might be interested in your idea, they can contact you, they can invite you to take part in the project, at least in a first moment in the building of the consortium itself. So here you can accept or decline the invitations that you received. You can see it's very easy. The second tool that you have is the partner search, which is here. And in here at the top right corner, you can instead use this button to edit your profile, your expertise, your organization, and password. Coming back one sec to the project ideas, when you go back and click in that, as you can see, you have a list of ideas. You can click on the single idea. You can also make a research with specific with the specificity. You can put keyword. The keyword will be the same keywords put it in that idea from the creator, and you can also select by challenge or by country. And once you found an idea that you're interested in, you can also save it among your favorite ideas, and then you can send invitation whenever you want. On the other side, you can create your project idea by putting idea acronym, title, the visibility. Of course, you can always change it later. The strategic challenge, as I said, the keywords. These are very important because, for instance, if you have a project about solar power, if you put solar, it will be easier to find your project among all the others. Once you have your idea ready, you can also manage it and edit it whenever you want. Basic information, requesting, you have to fill, of course, requesting information, and you can invite partners to join idea. So it is bi-directional. You can or invite project ideas, or you can invite partner to enter and to join your project idea, or vice versa. You can find project idea and the request to be added as invited. And here, as before, you can manage your request to join. This is the tool to send a request or invitation. The person will receive directly an email, as you can see here, and from the email you can accept or decline your project idea invitation. You will open the link and then you can accept or decline. If you accept an invitation, your name and your organization will go automatically into the page of the project, into the consortium that is building for the submission in a second moment. This is again accepting or declining the email that you received about some project idea invitation. Then the other tool, as I said, is the partner search. In the partner search, as before, you can search through some terms here, or through organization types, and of course countries. So you can cover more or less all the information with these three possibilities. You can also, of course, open the profile of the single person and read about it and invite the person to your project idea. At last, the profile settings. Once you create your account, as I said, you go in the top right corner and you will open your settings where it is edit your profile. You can put all the information about you, about your organization, about your expertise, of course. Of course, more information you put in there, the more invitation you might receive, since you can cover specific part in a project, so people can be interested in it. You can also manage and update the organization informations in here. And at last, you can update your password, change your password. That's it. Yes, as I said before, you can always put your profile as visible or hidden whenever you want. So this is a manual that you will receive after the end of the webinar. It's very simple to use. And I will stop my presentation. If there are any questions, I can see in the chat. I have a question. I just want to confirm something. So if my company, for example, offers both hardware and software, okay, we are back on the question before. So if a company offers both hardware and software, can I apply for 2 consortium? Is it allowed, Sinem?
Yeah, of course, of course. There's no limitation, no problem.
Okay. So before giving the floor to Karabo, I want to share again and to show. So here I will exit and to show one sec the website from the outside. This is the website. You can find all the information here. All the information, of course, that you find also in the presentation. If you go here at in the home page, Introduction to the Eureka Clusters Sustainability Call, you will get this manual, let's say, of the call in general, and there are all the relevant information for you. Otherwise, of course, there are all other page that are very important. How to participate, the funding. Also, this is very important. You can go here and take a look at South Africa rules, which Kababo now will present. So I will close my presentation and I will give the floor to Kababo for your presentation. You can tell to me when to skip to the next slide.
Okay. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you, just your presentation on the slide now. Can hear you.
Can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can see it, Nicolo. No problem. It's full screen.
Okay. I don't know. Okay, I think you can see it. Kababo, if you want to start. Hello?
You still muted, Karabo.
I think she is muted. That's why we couldn't hear her. Ah, yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Sorry about that. Let me just start over. Okay. My name is Karabo Mpocho. I work for the DSI under the Strategic Partnerships Directorate under the International Cooperation and Resources Program. We are a team that that advocates collaborations between researchers in South Africa and the EU. We created a support instruments to promote the mutual benefit of South Africa and the EU in an effort to increase the awareness of South Africa in European programs. Next slide, please. By doing that, we came up with the website called the Estop website, which stands for the European South African Science and Technology Advancement Program, which was launched during the 6th framework European Union framework program to promote, facilitate, and coordinate research, development, and innovation between South Africa and the EU in areas of common interest. Nicola, please click the next. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Estop is a collaborative initiative between South Africa and the EU that was established during the interactions between South Africa and the EU during the Joint Science and Technology Cooperation Committee, the JSTCC. The information that is shared regarding the collaboration between South Africa and the EU is always advertised here. I will be able to share the links at the end of the presentation. As I've mentioned, the Estop project started during the 6th framework program, looking at the bilateral relations between South Africa and the EU, raising awareness of the EU programs in which South Africans are able to participate in. Is it not moving? Yeah, there we go. The following iterations came up as Estop 2, which supported the 7th Framework Program, which then led to SA Access, which promoted the Framework Program Access for EU from 2010 to 2013. We then move up to have Estop Plus, which is followed by Estop 2020, which promoted the Horizon 2020 program, which has ended. We have now been promoting the Horizon Europe program, which is the new framework program where the Estop network will continue to provide support. I will now move on to the DSI Support Instruments. On the Estop website, the DSI creates awareness on opportunities by promoting information on the collaboration between South Africa and the EU through the website. We will upload upcoming events, upcoming calls, and respond to researchers who are looking for partners within the EU, and connect researchers and companies who are looking for partners in South Africa in what we call consortiums. We do that through advertising on the website and through information sharing sessions which we arrange throughout the country. They come up in different forms where we go to an institution, meet with the research office and a few researchers to really give support and create a way for researchers to be orientated about these opportunities. So since South Africa is divided into 9 provinces, what we do is go into a certain province and then we put together the institutions and other small information sharing sessions and workshops. Since the pandemic, we've been hosting these sessions virtually, and we now have plans to visit more institutions. The project mainly supports South African researchers, small to medium enterprises, and other members of the National System of Innovation. We provide marketing material, which is now online in the form of office bulletins, pamphlets, or links to the calls that are out already, such as the Eureka Clusters Sustainability Call, which is open until the 2nd of May. We also have NCPs, which will soon be appointed to help support the Horizon Europe Framework Program. NCPs, or National Contact Points, are appointed by the National System of Innovation by the Director General of the department. They are experts in their fields, meaning that in the fields that are already registered in the Horizon Europe program, there should be an NCP for each specific thematic area. At the Estop Help Desk, we have colleagues who respond to these questions from researchers to give information on the upcoming opportunities and the calls that are there for South Africans to participate in. We have a technical support office situated in Brussels as well. At the moment, we have a senior science and technology representative by the name of Miss Yudi Mabuza, who was recently appointed. The office is there to support South African researchers. For instance, if there are opportunities within the office, the SSTR shares them with South African researchers. The office's mandate is of the JSTCC, which is headed by the Director General of the Department of Science and Innovation South Africa and the Director General Research and Innovation in the European Commission. The office communicates new and upcoming opportunities, as I've mentioned and discussed. These are discussed during the JSTCC. These enable South African researchers to join in calls. We also have, DSI line directorates. They are specialists in various research areas and are able to advise in the participation of South African researchers and SMEs in European Union projects, linking their participation to the science and innovation national priorities. So should South African researchers or SMEs be interested to contact these specialists within the DSI, they are guided to the website where you will find the team that works on a system that will be able to connect them to the specialists within the department. We also have partner matching services. We had a very good example during the launch of the Horizon Europe Africa initiative, where we had researchers from DUT and the Walter Sisulu University who worked with European Union researchers, and we also encourage SMEs to collaborate and apply as well. We organize brokerage events such as this one, where we invite researchers and SMEs from Europe and South Africa to meet and form partnerships. That's we've also got a program that is a bottom-up approach, which is an EU program that the DSI participates in actively, which started in the 80s. It is focused on multidisciplinary cooperation, promotes early-stage research, and complements the framework program, which is now Horizon Europe. So for South African researchers or SMEs looking to join the cost actions as members, of course, the information is available on the Estop website. Each action holds 3 events in a year. These events have been useful for partner matching for South African researchers traveling to the EU to meet with project partners or attending workshops. South African researchers or SMEs, when they are members, of course, of the cost actions, the DSI pays for their traveling and their stay in Europe up to 100%. This is one of the financial support instruments that the DSI gives to South African researchers and SMEs to go meet with their project partners within the EU. We also have co-investments only given to those South African researchers or SMEs who are already partners with researchers responding to an EU call, an open call, such as the Eureka Clusters Call. The current investment for institutions is at 90% for South Africans applying for investment. Then the remaining 10% will be a co-fund. The application takes about 30 days. This is to cater for the signing of the contractual agreement between institutions. Next slide, please. Yes, we have important websites here that I'm sharing with you now, all found in the estop.org website. We encourage all researchers and SMEs to subscribe to the network and receive relevant information relating to their specific research areas. This will help researchers and SMEs to stay up to date with the dissemination of information all year round. We have a number of events and calls advertised on the website, as mentioned before, such as the Eureka Clusters Sustainability Call, which is closing on the 2nd of May. We urge all applicants to speak to the DSI contact points to discuss the funding process as well. This will help with the application and any other questions that you might have regarding the call. We will also be launching an expression of interest for projects to showcase their work in the upcoming Eureka Global Innovation Summit. We urge you all to be on the lookout for that and to stay in contact with us through our social media networks. That makes the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please let us know.
So thank you. Yes, this is the part about South Africa in the funding section of the sustainability call. You can see it, of course, the percentage for SMEs, universities, and large companies are different. But here you can also find the links and the contact, direct contact. Okay, let me see if there are some questions. I don't think so.
I guess I was clear then.
Yeah, you were super clear. Thank you. Okay. So, Sinem, do you have some closing remarks for this webinar?
Thank you very much. It is really very excited to stay with the South African companies. I'm proud of this. I hope there will be a collaboration between the other countries' companies and South Africa companies. I'm really willing of this, and hopefully there will be proposal for the joint sustainability call coming from your companies. There are some companies which are willing to have collaborations with the South Africa companies. I try to matchmake these companies with you, and of course I try to support and coach to your companies for this call. Hopefully the impact will be very big for South Africa. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for your invitation for Toto and Karabo, of course. It's really good today with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sina, as well as Nicolo. I think most of our applicants are now aware of what is expected of them. But I know it just doesn't come in a day or so. But we are available for assistance, as well as taking them through other aspects of the call. So we're hoping to get collaboration. But I think the main thing or the main takeout should be that people should firstly get onto the website, register. Even if you don't have partners, I think Nicola has said that there's partner search. But also, if you don't come right, it's always easy to try and maybe send us an email. We liaise as national project coordinators to help with the partners. So we're looking forward to that, and for everyone, all the best, and we will wait to see your proposal.
Thank you,
And
Toto.
thank you so much for your
Thank you,
time.
Toto. Thank you, sir. Bye.
Okay. Thank you to everyone. You will receive the records and presentations. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye.
Good afternoon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.